Hey guys, welcome to the Hollywood Raw YouTube page. Make sure you drop a comment, like, subscribe.
Do all the fun things.
Follow
everything. We're here to entertain you guys.
What are you waiting for? Hurry up, let's go.
Enjoy. Welcome to the Hollywood Raw podcast. I'm Dax Holt. That is Adam Glyn. And we are here to bring you the Raw Rundown today. The top stories of the week, get you in, basically informed in all the greatest news there is in Hollywood, and then get you off into the weekend, because that's what we do here. Hi, buddy. How are you?
I'm good. I took a break from watching Suits to talk to you and do our week rundown. This is Dax. Have you watched Suits?
No.
There's not much to watch on television at the moment with the strike and everything going on. So on Netflix, I was like, all right, I'm going to watch Suits. It's a really fun show. I mean, is it like Sopranos? No, but it's like a fun show. And I never thought I would like a show on the USA Network. Is that weird? Like, it's like like when you saw TV shows on TNT or USA, TBS, I never thought I'd be like, oh my God, I need to watch one of those shows. But Suits is a fun show. So I'm really enjoying it.
Queen of the South. I want to say that was also originally on one of those networks.
I think TNT,
don't remember which one. TNT.
Maybe.
I loved Queen of the South. It was so good. It was, I don't know, that one got me. But I didn't watch it until it was on Netflix.
Yeah, so I'm watching that right now. But this is our week rundown, where we give you the top 10 stories of the week. Originally, we tried to do this podcast in 20 minutes. Somehow, me and you just got stuck talking to each other about random things like Suits right now, and it went a little bit longer. So in the middle of the week, we do usually a conversation between the two of us, or we have a guest on the podcast. And then on the Fridays, we do a Raw Rundown. Before we get to a Raw Rundown, we read your review. Dax, do you have a review ready for us?
Of course I've got a review. All right, this one comes from Yazzie91301. It says, you are the best. 5 stars. You guys rock. That's it. That's the review. Keep up the great work. It's truly appreciated. Hell yeah. Quick, to the point. Thank you for that review. I like it.
We appreciate
quick and easy.
That's all we want. It doesn't take much. Take your partner's phone, take your coworker's phone, put in a review, put in some few funny words. We'll read it. It's cool it helps us out. Again, we're not a Patreon. That's the best thing to do to support this podcast. On to the Raw Rundown, the top 10 stories of the week, starting with number 10.
Number 10, Fyre Festival's coming back. Well, it seems that way. So if you guys remember the big doomed music festival that happened back in, 2017, when there was supposed to be a Fyre Festival out in the Caribbean, and then, people and they paid tons of money to get there, like over $1,000 up to $100,000 for tickets for this exclusive party, and then got there and all they got was like FEMA tents and cheese sandwiches. Well, it is back, and you told us this a little while ago, Adam, after you talked to Billy McFarland, the creator of Fyre Festival, that he wanted to bring it back. Well, now he's sold over 100 tickets. I guess they put like 100 out there just to kind of test the waters for like $450. $499, and they all got swooped up like really, really quickly. And I think that this is the start, and they're not even saying where the festival is going to be. They just say it's going to be in the Caribbean again. And now it's the pre-sale has gone on, and now we'll see if this is going to be a big deal again. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, there's no location, there's no artist mentioned. However, for the price of $499 and you're dealing with affluent people, that's not really much money to them. So I think a lot of people are curious. It's sort of fun to say, hey, I got tickets to Fyre Fest too. So I think actually Billy made an interesting, smart move just to build excitement into it. It's funny. I have a photographer friend who's one of the few people who went to Fyre Fest. And I wouldn't say he had a good experience, but he actually made money. He made the infamous photo of the cheese sandwich plate. Like that was his photo.
That was his?
And he sold that photo. And he's like, dude, that was an expensive ticket just to go there. And everyone was pissed off. I wound up making pretty decent money on the trip because his photos went viral. Like he wound up covering it. And he actually did well there. He's like, believe it or not, I actually made pretty good money covering Fyre Festival, which is, of all the people at Fyre Festival, he's the only one who made
Who
money
walked
there,
away with
not
a good
Billy.
experience.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he didn't eat well, but he's like, yeah, I came back and did pretty well. So
what I found interesting is there was, some people that had purchased tickets that then went to social media, and their response was basically that he went to, I think it was prison actually for this whole thing. There's no way he's going to mess it up again. That was their take on it. So that's why they bought tickets. They're like, might as well now, because tickets could end up going for like $7,000 a pop once it gets closer to the date. And they're going, for an investment of $500, there's no way he can mess this up again. So we're going for it. I thought that was an interesting look into it.
Yeah, 100%. I think it was, for some people, it's considered an investment. $500 is not much money. For me, it's a lot of money. I think for you, you'd say the same thing. But for some people, it's not that bad. They spend more money to go to other things. So I'm still curious where it's going to be. I know Billy's been saying he wants to go back to the Bahamas because he owes a lot of money. And I don't know, like, my thoughts on Billy, he screwed up. He owned it. I mean, I hope he's sympathetic.
Wouldn't this be amazing, though, if he's able to dig his way out of all of this craziness and Fyre Festival actually becomes a big thing?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm rooting for him because, again, the money he's going to make goes back to the Bahamas. So I am rooting for him to succeed. Is that weird that I'm rooting for him? I think some people get pissed off and call him an idiot. But I'm like, listen, he owes money. The money's going to the Bahamas. He screwed up. He owned it. He served his time. That's it. That's my thoughts on Billy. And that's not because I don't even say we're friends. I know him. We're friendly to each other. If we see each other, he's good to me. He lets me interview him. But besides that, I mean, that's just my thoughts on the situation. Do you have any last thoughts or comments on it?
I have zero last thoughts or comments on
it. Good. Number 9.
Number 9, Kanye West and his wife Bianca are being slammed for showing up to a food dispensary. And when I say food dispensary, I mean a vending machine. So they're over in Italy right now. They've been gallivanting all around Italy, with her wearing basically nothing. So locals are all pissed off because she's showing off her goods through her outfits. But what I thought was funny is there was a whole story on Daily Mail about how they went to a vending machine and how people are all pissed off. Like, you're in Italy, you're in like the food capital of the world, and you show up to a fucking vending machine to get food, you idiots. And I just laughed. I'm like, who cares? Like, who is actually pissed off that they went to a vending machine? But nevertheless, they're getting crucified all over social media for this. And then the other story about them is just like, her outfits, how she's wearing like very see-through, skin-tight outfits, and they're also like basically body color or skin color, and so it looks like she's naked walking around Italy. And there's stories about how the locals are upset and that she should be, arrested for the way that she is showing skin. And I'm thinking, but this is Europe. And I may be wrong because a lot of people are saying that's a very religious country. But I feel like in other places, especially Europe, like they don't have the prude sense of what we have here, like, oh my God, someone's naked. Like, they don't care. There's nudity all over TV. So do I really think that they care that much? I kind of don't, personally.
I've been seeing a lot of this girl, Kanye's girlfriend and
wife.
I forget his wife. I have to think this is like Kanye's building her into another Kim K. There's an illusion of her. She's almost like Larsa Pippen-ish, where we've seen her. She's got a great body. She's got interesting fashion. We never heard her talk. So it's sort of like Kim's sort of.
Well, and she looks a lot like Kim too, minus like short hair and stuff. But like, I feel like her body is very Kim-ish, and so he like literally puts copy paste on Kim.
I'm interested in what his wife, Bianca, is going to be like in 6 months and a year from now. I want to revisit her in 6 months and a year from now and see where she stands in Hollywood, where she stands as a celebrity. I'm very just curious what she's going to turn into, because the way the media is kind of shooting her, it's like you're curious about her. I wouldn't say interested, but you're curious.
I think this becomes another Amber Rose situation. Amber Rose was put on the map by Kanye West, right? Like, she was the muse for a long time in his life, and she is legitimately famous post Kanye. That's kind of how I see it. Like, Kim was already famous before they got together, so it just elevated her celebrity status, but this may just kind of put her on the map.
Yeah. We'll see. Time will only tell. Number 8.
Number 8, Taylor Swift's Eras Tour is continuing to shatter records. It is now projected to bring in $2.2 billion in revenue in North America. And so she's obviously slated to surpass Elton John's big $939 million tour by March of 2024. So she is just crushing it right now. She has really stimulated the economy. Every basically city that she goes to, it rakes in millions and millions of dollars for them in food, tourism, like stays at hotels. I mean, it's crazy how one person can inject so much money into the economy.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like this before.
Do you have interest of going to see Taylor Swift? Would you pay?
I think if it was like the face value, like I knew I could get it for, $300 or something, then yes. But I have a hard time paying for it. I feel like You've
seen enough.
been in a situation where I've seen so many great concerts without having to pay a dime.
Yeah. No, I get it.
It's hard to pay for concerts these days. I feel like this might be one that is cool to see, because your $300 is going for a 3.5-hour show. Like, she is putting on a hell of a show for you.
It's also seeing in that environment for me that I don't like seeing her in a stadium. It's not as warm to me. It's not as, it's so far away, no matter where she is. It's hard.
Yeah, my $300, I also want like really good seats.
No, you're right. I had someone reach out to me for Beyonce, and they wanted some in Vegas. And like, hey, do you think you get a seat for like $350 to see Beyonce? And I was like, well, you want good seats? And I was like, I don't think that really can happen. Yeah, tickets are just so expensive. Celebrities aren't, like we said before, celebrities aren't even buying the seats. They are, having brands buy the seats, and then they just plug the brand on their Instagram story. There's actually the news with Taylor Swift this week. There was a security guy at one of the concerts that went viral, and he got fired. He was a security guy. When I mean security, he was sort of like working for the arena, and he didn't work for Taylor's personal security. He worked for the arena and was doing security for the event. And he was a big Taylor Swift fan. And he was like closing his eyes and sort of like singing the songs to her music. And it became like kind of viral on TikTok. Well, the guy got fired, I guess, because he was telling people like, hey, can you giving out his number and saying, hey, can you, send me the photos of me or send me the clips of me singing Taylor Swift. And
was he just trying to go viral? Because I've seen other security guards go viral based on them dancing and singing at a Taylor Swift concert.
We don't know that. I mean, he says that it was an unbelievable moment. He can't, for his job, he's not allowed to take photos, and the company, stands by the rules that, you're not supposed to be kind of doing that stuff. And again, I guess it was just, they didn't think he was doing a good job as security by kind of doing that, where he was there for the concert, even though he wasn't looking, he was kind of playing around with it, not taking his job seriously. So that viral star from Minnesota, he was fired. I'm sure Taylor Swift will make something of it and make a fun post about it and get this guy tickets to another show, because it's a good PR move for her.
See, that's what I would say is give him tickets to another show so he can actually be front row and get photos without getting in trouble.
Exactly. It's Taylor, in my opinion, will figure out some way to kind of spin it, because the guy already made news from this situation. Taylor's camp will get in touch with him, give him tickets to his show, and make another Instagram moment, and he'll post about it, say Taylor's team, the Taylor Army took care of me. It's just what happens. It's
just what happens.
I get, it's so funny because like some of these people's like trajectory of their career, I feel like Dax, you as well, could call out their career like in advance, like what's going to happen. Okay, this is what's going to happen. Like there's this 100%. One social media star that goes out. I'm not going to say her name, but she's a big partier and she goes out partying, and she's a social media star. and she's big drink, party. But in another year, she's going to be all about mental health, and she's going to be, guys, it's all about mental health. Check in with yourself. It's like, we know like the path of their career. It's just funny. All right, number 7.
Number 7, R. Kelly. He is now having his royalties garnished to pay victims of his sex crimes that has him spending 30 years in prison. And so he is now forced to pay these people. So the victims are now expected to receive over $500,000 in music royalty payments as a result of that court order that directed his record label to pay them for his crimes. That money is being set to be divided amongst the multiple victims who have only received about $27,000 in restitution from the singer. And so this is a big deal. He's spending 30 years in federal prison for numerous sex trafficking and racketeering charges. And so this is at least one way for those victims to be paid or, receive some kind of monetary payout.
Some sort of. I wonder what. I wish we get a photograph when people serve long prison sentences like R. Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you never get to see him, but I would love to just see what he looks like right now. And I'm just curious. And also, I would love to interview, which would never happen, but maybe are corrections officers allowed to do interviews of what R. Kelly's life is like behind prison?
I doubt it, but that would be really cool.
I'd just be curious how the inmates treat him. Does he do concerts in there? Does he sing still? Like,
it's true because here's the difference. When you've got underage sex crimes, they don't really even if you're R. Kelly, people don't look at that very fondly behind bars.
Not one bit. So,
yeah, is he getting is he in solitary confinement, or are they giving him a hard time, or does his celebrity status outweigh all of that? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird how celebrity status can change people's opinion and kind of look away from your crimes.
And also in jail, like, is he being protected by the other inmates? I watch a lot of these jail shows where, it's like all the gangs within prison. I just don't know what his life is behind. This is not a white collar crime, what he did. It's a much more severe, intense story. So what his life is in prison, I would love to know. I just don't know if we will ever know.
What's funny is R. Kelly, to me, like, I think about the amount of money that the man used to have. And so, like, all of his clothes, his fashion, his sunglasses, his jewelry, he always just looked like such a rich celebrity, in my opinion. And when you see his booking photo, or you see he in court, he just looks like a regular Joe Schmo. Like, you wouldn't even recognize him behind bars because he just looks so ordinary when he used to be such a flashy person.
You know what's so funny? I just realized I might still have it up on my. I didn't even realize, but I met R. Kelly once. I met him like a few times, handful of times, and I met him, and I took a photo with him, and now I'm like, do I still have that photo up, and should I take that photo down? It's an old photo on my social media, and my part of me is like, man, maybe I should have taken that photo down because that's not really a good look for myself. But what's funny, when I met him, he had to say a few lines for me. And he had to say it on camera. And I was working for another company at the time. And he said the lines. I think I might have took it down. I hope I took it down. I don't know. Anyway, he had to say a few lines on camera. And the company wanted for him to say a line that was really kind of like, whoa, like that was bad.
Like IP on little people?
Something like that. And I remember, I still have it up. Oh my God. Oh shit. I have the photo. So they wanted to say like a very rough line about his accusations. And I remember how much he turned and how much they got pissed and how close I got the shit beaten out of me by his friends. They're like, are you fucking serious? Like, are you nuts? What are you doing? And I was like, I didn't know what to do. Like the company I work for made me do it, but here's a photo of me and
oh shit.
It's just an old photo. But,
by the way, do you have any other photos that like you have of people or with people, but you're like, I can't post this shit because I'll just be crucified?
You really want? I mean, yeah, I do.
Who?
Aaron Hernandez. No, I'm kidding. I took. Are we going to get into this? Or we want. I took a photo of Donald Trump recently. You're an asshole. Listen. I'm not a. I did it just to say I had the photo with. I'm not a Trump guy. I'm not a Biden guy. I'm too stupid, as you guys could tell, to know anything about any of these people. I just did it because it was right there. But also, he had this shirt on that was so like wild that I had to take a photo with him while he wore this shirt because I just thought it was like it was a way to take a photo that was just classic. Like if you look in he's wearing a shirt. I don't know if you see in the, but it sounds, you can't even see it, but it says,
hard to see.
It says oh my God. Actually, it says President Donald Trump. It says MAGA. It says 2024 and it's got the presidential logo on. I was like, oh my God. So I took a photo with him recently, like 2 weeks ago. I got to talk to him and yeah. Way to go. Way to get.
I'm such a dick.
You're such a dick.
I'm just going to go into it.
Yeah. You just got the podcast canceled and everything like that. Guys, I just took a photo with him, okay? I didn't go over his house to break bread. Like, it was just, I had to do it. It was right there. It's part of history.
So funny. Adam sent me the photo. I was like, delete it.
Yeah. I can't even post it. It's so bad. I was going to put it on my LinkedIn because I thought it was like, oh my God, I interviewed a former president because he is a former president. And I got to talk to him and interview him. And I took a photo. But I was like, even though I put on LinkedIn, I feel like jobs wouldn't hire me because they're like,
it's so funny. There's never been a more polarizing person where like, it doesn't even matter your political view. Like, you can't say shit. People either hate you or want to be your best friend with it. It's so wild.
Wild. It's so funny. I sent it to a few people, and people would respond to me saying, "I dare you to post it." I'm like, "No, are you kidding me? Like, I am not doing it. Like, just, I'm not a Trump guy. I'm not a Biden guy. I don't care. I'm a John Mayer guy. That's who I vote for. You know, like if that's who I vote for. John Mayer, he rules. I'm Dave Matthews. That's why I go for it. But yeah, way to get everyone to come at me for taking a photo with him. Number 6.
Number 6, Blueface, the rapper, got stabbed during a heated argument at a gym in Los Angeles. Wait, is he is a singer, right? Am I saying that correctly? Is he a rapper?
Yeah, he's a rapper.
Okay, I wanted to make sure I was saying that properly because some people are like, oh no, he's a singer, not a rapper, whatever. Okay, so Blueface got into this altercation with an unknown man in Los Angeles, and basically the guy comes in, he's got a dog, and there's the trainer who's kind of standing in. There's video, by the way, if you want to see the video, it's up on a bunch of sites, including Daily Mail. But the trainer is kind of like stepping in between the two guys, kind of trying to keep this random dude away. And then next thing you know, Blueface starts punching him, and then the guy pulls out a knife and stabs him. And pretty intense stuff. The stab is not on video because they kind of cut the video right at that moment. But he ends up having to go and get treated. Just a crazy situation. That's kind of all I got on it, though.
Yeah, the video is kind of intense. It's more of a visual thing for this because it's just
it's wild.
It's just a weird situation. We don't know what happened. I mean, it's a wild life. We don't know what the background of the story is right now, but the video is
you know what? I'm going to do another number 6 just because I feel like that one is not as
spicy enough,
detailed as spicy. I want to also talk about Lizzo because we had her on the rundown a couple weeks ago because a bunch of her backup dancers were suing her and all this kind of stuff. Well, now she plans to countersue these backup dancers, basically to say that they are full of crap, that they, they took her to court basically saying that they didn't feel comfortable in situations, that she would make them go to these like topless shows in Paris and all this kind of stuff. And it was not a good situation to be in. Well, now she's going, no, screw that. You guys made a big deal when you happily and gleefully were hanging out backstage with a lot of these topless performers at a cabaret show in Paris. And this comes weeks after the one that you complained about. So don't sit there and say that I forced you to do all these things that were uncomfortable when I've got numerous photos of all of us hanging out backstage, having a good time, not that I forced you to do it. So she plans on taking them to court for I'm guessing it's basically like defamation. They're making her look really bad and she wants to countersue them now.
I don't know what the truth is. There's always his side, their side, one side, the other side, and the truth. I will give props when people just don't back down now because,
Yep.
it's
Well, there's a lot of celebs that go, it's not worth it. Like, it's not worth going
And
to
they settle.
court. It's not worth having a lawyer and spending all this money on lawyers' fees. And then if you lose, it's even more, and your reputation is damaged and all this kind of stuff. And then there's the ones who say, no, I would rather go to court. I would rather face off, because at the end of the day, then that is me getting my point of view out there. I mean, that's what Johnny Depp did. He goes, I don't care how much I have to spend in lawyers' fees. I want to make sure Amber Heard gets what she's coming to her. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's the celebrities that will fight it just to save their reputation.
Yeah, and that's where I think it's gone down to, where it's like it's not about the money, it's reputation wise. And I think people are sick of, again, this is just my throwing out there. People are sick of or hearing people settle out of court because that just sounds like you're guilty.
Yep.
It's like, it's just, even though it's cheaper, it still sounds like you're guilty. It's like, let's just give them the money they
100%.
want. So,
and then a lot of them come with clauses saying you can't talk about it. So even if you are innocent and it looks like you're guilty because you're paying your way out of it, then you can't talk about it. Like, you're screwed all around.
Yeah. All right. Number 5.
Number 5, Morgan Wade is denying rumors that she's dating Kyle Richards.
Finally, she's denying the rumors that she let it play off.
Took so long?
Because she was promoting music. She's promoting a tour. So they were, you would think if there's no relationship, you kind of, you get it out of the way very soon. But they kind of let it go a little bit in drag because it was good promotion. But go on with the story, please.
It was good promotion, saying that they're just friends. And if you watched her music video, there was a kiss in the music video that even fueled more rumors. Well, she is now saying in an interview, we're just friends. And she did that interview with People magazine, so she knew everyone would actually get to hear the clarification. And she said that basically that kiss that they had the other day was just to troll the trolls. And I don't think it was to troll the trolls. I think it was to strum up more publicity for this music video.
Yeah. Good. It was great publicity. Publicity. I think people didn't know who Morgan Wade was before, and now they know she is. There's a reason why she took a while to kind of address it. I think we were all very curious, especially with what was going on with Kyle Richards' relationship, and there's just so much speculation going on.
Do you think that sucks for like Kyle and Maurizio? Like, they're kind of going through a pretty public split, and she's like, okay, we're gonna do this publicity stunt. Like, do you kind of feel yucky just because you're making someone kind of look bad, or screw it, it's publicity?
I think these people know what they signed up for. They understand you need to sell your soul a little bit. They know the truth, and I think you have to become very comfortable with it, saying, you can't let the outside noise like get into your head. So I think that's sort of what you sign up for. And that's not just with these two, that's with any kind of celebrity. It's really kind of stay sane when everyone's talking about you. You have to become very comfortable with yourself. Kyle Richards, to me, seems, as far as the housewives go, I would say one of the most sanest people. Not insane, but yeah, I would say one of the most like normal people that she's comfortable with herself. So, but it was great publicity for Morgan Wade, and I think Kyle wanted to maybe support her friend. This is the industry they chose.
Yeah. All right. Very good.
Number 4.
Number 4, Tish Cyrus marries Dominic Purcell, and her daughter Miley Cyrus is her maid of honor. So this happened the other day in a beautiful little intimate wedding ceremony in Malibu, California. Tish, who is 56, walked down the aisle with Dominic Purcell, who's 53, and they said their I do's. It's so funny. This relationship happened so quickly. I feel like 1 second, we're hearing that they're dating, and next thing they're getting married. Is crazy. But the ceremony looks really beautiful. It's like right next to a pool, and there's white rose petals everywhere. Miley looks really pretty. She's got her dark hair with like pink in it. I don't know, just looked like a really, really gorgeous ceremony. But nevertheless, I wonder what Annalyn McCord thinks of this whole thing, because Annalyn was with Dominic Purcell for a very long time. And even when we had her on the podcast, you could tell there was still a very tight relationship with Dominic. They would still text each other happy birthdays and this kind of stuff. And I think it was kind of her forever love. So I'm kind of interested to know what Annalyn McCord thinks right now.
Yeah. This, like, the whole Tish Cyrus, it came really quick, becoming in a relationship with Dominic, and getting married, because their breakup, Tish Cyrus's breakup with Billy Ray Cyrus, kind of came out of nowhere to me. And then all of a sudden she's in a relationship with Dominic Purcell.
You know what that means, though? That means people have not been happy for a long time. Like, it feels out of nowhere for us because we haven't been involved in their daily situations. But I think when someone jumps onto the next relationship quickly and it feels like it moves fast, is because they've been so unhappy for a long time. And now they're like, oh, breath of fresh air. I can finally, like, live the life I've wanted to live for a while.
Yeah. So, it was an intimate ceremony. Miley, Trace, and Brandy were there.
I did like that Miley was barefoot, by the way.
Well, that's kind of fun. Miley thing. But the other two kids, there's Brayson and Noah, were nowhere to be seen. So not all the kids were there. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe they weren't in the photos, but it sounds like they skipped the festivities to stay together. So they were seen on social media kind of hanging out together. Yeah. That's it. I don't know. We don't really know why. Yeah. We don't know why they weren't all there. It's funny because Noah was maybe perhaps attempting to diss the mom, because they posted a photograph of her and Brayson in which she's wearing a T-shirt with Billy Ray Cyrus's photo on it. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of, like, strange behavior in the family that makes people speculate that not everyone was for it. But at the end, I don't know. That's just, I don't have an opinion. That's just telling you what we know. Yeah. Cool. Number 3.
Number 3, let's just get into Britney Spears in general.
There's not one story. Yeah, just tell me what's the latest with her.
I was like, there's so many things going on. I don't know if you saw this divorce party video that was posted this week on her account. It was very bizarre, weird. She basically rambled on for a while saying that, she was going out to see a friend, and then she wound up partying all night with a bunch of dudes. And when Kate Hudson was there, Cade, her manager, not Kate. But basically, she's with all these guys. They're lifting her up. She's in this green dress. So that was kind of bizarre. But, she's now, I know, paying $10,000 a month on this rental apartment for Sam. I guess her lawyers had reached out, and this is not a part of their divorce or anything like that. It's just, I guess her lawyer is doing this as goodwill, but paying $10,000 a month for this really high-end apartment for Sam. And what's interesting is, I think I'd be going, if I were him, I'd be like, I'm going to find a $5,000 a month apartment and pocket $5, because this money is going to go away very quickly for him. Because I don't know what he plans on doing after all of this. Like, I know he was an actor, but, like, is he really going to be landing these huge roles? What is his financial plan moving forward here? Anyway, and then they've split up the dogs, all kinds of stuff. What is it?
Yeah, how does the income come in? It's
I'm sure he gets
paid to shut up. Yeah.
Well, yeah, he'll get some money, because that prenup was pretty ironclad. So, like, he's not set to really get anything. But they will definitely pay him to shut up and go away, which could look at, let's say he gets $500,000. Okay, well, what do you do long term? You got to go out and go back to work. That's not going to last you the rest of your life, especially living in LA. And when you're paying $10,000 a month on an apartment, it's going to go away real fast. Yeah.
I'm very curious. That prenup is so, I'm sure there's lawyers. It's such an interesting prenup. And
what go back to the video. What did you think of her party video?
That was pretty rough. I mean,
weird, right? Like, the guy, there was rough. One moment where there
licking
was
her leg.
Yeah, like a guy filming a video where it looks like he's, like, licking her leg, and then the other guy's like, "Oh no, start at the boot, go higher." Like, again, I just feel like this is one of those moments where people are using Britney for fame or for moments. I don't know. Where's the person that's watching out for Britney? There's no one around to watch out for Britney.
It's definitely strange. It's very weird. You wonder if those people just to even enter the house have to sign some sort of NDA. Do you think
Well, no,
maybe going to
she
these
was
houses?
at theirs. She went to their place. That's not
Oh,
even her house.
so I mean, those people probably know the truth. And honestly, I wouldn't put it past that those people are the ones leaking information on what's going on with Brittany because
Yeah.
she's probably blabbing about it. They'll ask her.
Right? Like, she doesn't seem like she has much of a filter right now, and I don't think she has much of a guard up. Like, yes, to a point, but like, she gets in a room with these people and they're like, so what's going on with Sam? And she talks, and then they could regurgitate it and tell people,
So,
sell it off. Like, I don't know.
yeah. Dax? What's the latest with her and her father?
Oh, so there's multiple stories. There's a couple conflicting stories. TMZ put up a story saying that she does want to reconcile with Jamie, her father, because he's had a lot of health issues, and she wants to make sure that, she reconnects. Even though there's been a lot of drama in their life, at the end of the day, still her dad. Which I thought, hey, that's a really great story, because you don't want someone to be so sick and they pass away or whatever, and you never got that moment to rekindle. And then I think Daily Mail put up a story saying that's not true, that she doesn't want to reconnect with him. So I don't know where the truth lies in this story, but yeah, I don't know. I think time heals a lot of stuff, and the community, I think, looked very poorly on Jamie, but at the end of the day, the dude did still save her life, and I think it's still his daughter. And we may not have the full story there. We look at Britney's health and her mental state, and there's moments that I think, well, maybe she could be using a little bit more help, or I don't want to say a conservatorship, but maybe she could be using a little more structure in her life, and he provided a lot of that structure. Whether you liked him or not, he provided a lot more structure than she has right now, and I feel like she's kind of spiraling.
Yeah, there's just a lot of stories about Brittany right now that there's a lot of sources, but no one really knows much. That's why you can't put this as the number one story of the week. It's a lot of here's the latest what's going on, because it is a big divorce, and I think people are generally concerned and about Brittany's wellness. So
Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to be talking about it next week. All right, Dex, number two,
Halle Berry finally finalizing that divorce 8 years after her split from Olivier Martinez. If you remember, this just dragged on. It got pretty nasty in court, but she is now going to pay him $8,000 in monthly child support. So yeah, they started this back in 2015, and they've been arguing for many, many years. She will also pay Martinez 4.3% on any income that she makes that exceeds $2 million, which I thought was really interesting. I've never seen anything like that. Like, normally, while you're married, you split whatever assets you have, but I haven't seen this where you pay a percentage of something that you make now. And I've got to imagine she makes over $2 million on almost everything that she does. Like, any movie that Hale is signing up for, she's going to make 20 million bucks on. So he's probably going to make a ton of money off of her for that too.
Yeah, Dax? Why is something like with the Kevin Costner situation, and then you're hearing all about that divorce, and now it's Halle Berry divorce. We're hearing all about the divorce. However, with the Britney Spears, we're not hearing like what the settlement is. Why are we able to find out what's going on? Financials.
I think that a lot of times this kind of information gets leaked out because it's to garner support for people. Like, you feel bad for Halle that she is forced to give up future income. You feel bad that she's forced to, basically bear all the financial burden of a relationship. And that's my opinion why it gets out, because a lot of this stuff should be under kind of like lock and key. Like, we shouldn't know all of this. But it always leaks out. So that's my guess.
Yeah,
Or
it's
people that are, privy to the information are just excited to release it. I don't know.
Yeah. It's just been a long time of this divorce. Obviously, they filed for divorce in October of 2015.
Unless
You
they
actually
just
forgot about it.
they also just didn't seal it. I mean, there's a chance that it's just not sealed, but that seems very unlikely considering she's such a big star, that they just didn't seal it. And so you can go to the courthouse and see it yourself when it's filed.
Yeah, the custody term reveals that Oliver will receive which will split time between both parents. Hold on. They're going to split time. The kid's going to split time between both parents during the week and will alternate weekends with exceptions for certain holidays. He's allowed one phone or video call with the kid Maceo, I guess his name.
So
He's allowed one phone or video call. Maceo.
But that's either one. So when they're with one parent, they're allowed 15 minutes to like FaceTime at the end of the evening with the other parent.
Yeah.
It became a very nasty divorce is basically what it comes down to.
I forgot. I actually forgot that Halle Berry and this guy were even together. And now it just kind of reignites that flame of how much these people disliked each other. Because I just remember when the story came out, how much they disliked each other.
So much.
So much. All right, Dax, the number one story of the week.
Number one story of the week, Scooter Braun losing his artist. This has been a huge, huge story that Demi Lovato and Idina Menzel have parted ways with one of the biggest people in the music industry, Scooter Braun. But there's a lot of conflicting reports. People were saying, oh, look, Ariana Grande, Justin Bieber, everyone is basically dumping Scooter Braun right now. That doesn't seem to necessarily be the case. A lot of conflicting reports on this. I can tell you for sure that Demi Lovato and Idina, they've parted ways, but those are the only two actual confirmed partings. Ariana Grande has rumored to have let him go as her management team, but some people are saying yes, some people are saying no, so I cannot confirm that. Justin Bieber, same thing. He's been with Scooter Braun since he was a YouTuber back in the day. And I think the only reason we actually know Scooter's name is thanks to Justin Bieber and how successful Justin got. And Braun was a part of that success. And he made a lot of money off of that. So it doesn't seem that's the case either, or people are keeping pretty tight-lipped. What seems to really be the case is he is moving out of a one-on-one manager role, and he is now becoming the CEO of Hybe, Hybe America, which is kind of like which is kind of like the parent company. They own a bunch of record labels and include, so they manage like the BTS label. They manage all these artists like Tori Kelly, and they've got a lot of people that they are working with, and it seems like he is now going to be the CEO of that. And so he can't be a day-to-day manager for these big acts. So that's where there might be some confusion, where they're still under his label. They're just not working directly with him any longer.
Yeah, like you just nailed it. Again, there's no truth to a lot of this. It's just from one source. The one thing I do know is that Scooter, obviously Scooter has a history with Taylor Swift, and it was bad blood. It was bad.
So basically, if you didn't follow it, Ithaca Holdings, which was his other brand, acquired all the rights to her old albums. And so that's why she went out and she is making Taylor's versions, because if she re-records them, makes new masters, she then basically has the rights to anything moving forward. And if people use the Taylor version of it, she makes the money rather than Braun, because she wanted all of her master recordings. She had said that for a long time. They did a deal basically right underneath her, sold them out to him. She was really pissed off. He doesn't even own them anymore. He sold them already to another private equity company called Shamrock Holdings. So I think it's funny because he went through this, publicly bashed. It was a whole deal, and then he just sold them off anyway.
Yeah, I do know from one of my sources that Scooter was very concerned. I think he has received a lot of threats to him and his family from people in the Taylor Swift army, just because of what had happened between him and Taylor Swift's team. So this could be kind of some speculations that kind of came from all that. He got a lot of bad press regarding the whole Taylor Swift drama. And I think this could kind of be added gas to it, where people are just kind of
people instantly go, oh, are these people siding with Taylor and they're getting rid of him because they're friends with Taylor? Well, I think they would have done that immediately years ago if that was the case. I think that roles are being shifted, management's being shifted, and that's what's happening.
Yeah, what the good news is today, actually, we are talking to Eric Gardner, who is a senior reporter at Puck News. His team was actually one of the first people to report all this stuff. So I'm interested in talking to him to find out what's true, what's the latest with Scooter Braun and his clients, to learn more about, just like humanize and explain so we could actually understand what's going on. With that said, this is the Raw Rundown. Thank you guys for watching on YouTube. If you're watching it, if you're listening, thank you for listening. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We have this private Facebook group called Off the Record. It's a great group where you guys could talk to us, you talk to each other. It's a really, really good community. Follow me at Adam Glyn. Follow Dax Holt at Dax Holt. And we'll see you guys next time. Keep the reviews coming.
Bye.
What's up, guys? If you liked that video, there's plenty more where that came from.
Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell so we can just feed you all the goodness daily.
Hurry up. Come on, let's go.